Hi guys, so today's video is all about the games I got from Doncaster Video Game Market. Now I went with a few ideas of what I wanted, and unfortunately none of the traders had any of these items. So the first one was a boxed Vectrex, because I always see a boxed Vectrex at these shows. Unfortunately this time there wasn't any. There was a couple of stalls selling the games, but they were either in battered boxes or missing the overlays for the screen. And the other two items were two SNES games, so I wanted a box complete Turtles in Time, because I, for some reason, sold my original copy a few years ago, and now I'm kicking myself about that. And then the other game is Super Empire Strikes Back, because I've got Star Wars and Return of the Jedi, but I've never owned Empire Strikes Back on the Super Nintendo. So the games I got are across 9 different platforms. So we're going to start off with the games I got for the ZX Spectrum, because they always tend to be cheap and cheerful. So the first one is a game I never knew existed on the home micros. I always know it from the Atari 2600, and that is Return of the Jedi Death Star Battle. I've played it briefly on the Atari, and it does look dated, as do most Atari games, so it'll be interesting to see how it translates to the Spectrum. So I've not played this game yet, so I'm just going to insert some footage here of me playing the game in the future. So the next one I got, I didn't know at the time, but after watching Mr. Bads' video on his Ocean Spectrum games, I found out that this is the first ever game that used the Ocean logo and the Ocean name, because all the other games were known as Spectrum games. Nothing to do with the ZX Spectrum, they were just called Spectrum games before they changed the name to Ocean, and that is Kong. So, as you can see, this is a rip-off of Donkey Kong. So yeah, this was 1980, I think it was 1983 this came out. Yeah, 1983. 3 years later they actually got the license to produce the real Donkey Kong. So, nice bit of gaming history. Now the next one I picked up because it had both games with it, and that is Bomb Jack 2 with Bomb Jack 1 included. Now this is the only game that I've seen, I mean there's obviously more, but I've never come across them, that has a plastic insert for the tray in one of these double jewel cases. I mean a lot of the Ocean cardboard box games had those black plastic trays for the tapes to fit in, but I've never seen it in one of those cases. Now this game I got in Birmingham Gaming Market on the Amstrad, so I just thought I'd see what it's like on the Spectrum. Even though the Amstrad version is a Spectrum port, this might play better. I'm not sure, probably not. And that is Marble Madness with the construction set, so you can make your own levels. And the one I got on the Amstrad didn't come with the construction set instructions, so that comes on a separate piece of paper to the actual instructions, which are in the inlay. And that was only £5, so I just snagged that. So the next one, I already own this on the Hit Squad label, and I bought it because, again, it was only a £5. It's in a really, really nice, well looked after box. Even the inlay, it's like flawless, and that is Enduro Racer. So out of the 3 main 8-bit computers, this is the better one in my eyes. I mean, the Amstrad version is a Spectrum port. The Commodore 64 version is, well, the less said about that, the better. Now this next one, I've only played this in the arcade, once at Arcade Club in Bury. So I've never actually played it on any of the home micros. So I've no idea what this is going to be like. And it's based on a classic arcade game, that is Elevator Action. So the final Spectrum game, again I own this on the Hit Squad label, and this was a £5 for the big box version, and even though I prefer this on the Commodore 64, it's not too bad on the Spectrum, and that is Sega's classic Afterburner. Has all the bits inside, so we've got the instructions and the competition to win a flight on Concorde, and the poster. So that's all the Spectrum games. On to the Commodore 64. This time I've only got 3 games. So this next game is the first ever game I remember playing on the Commodore 64 at my cousin's house. And we're talking, I want to say 84, 85. When did this come out? 84. There you go. So 84, 85, I played Pedro. Now I know you play like a Mexican gardener, battling ants and mice in your garden, but other than that I can't remember much more about this game. So this next game, I did a video at Halloween all about this trilogy, but I never actually owned any of the physical games. I just downloaded them from the internet. But now I own Cauldron 1 and 2 on the Commodore 64. I can't remember which game has the inertia on the broomstick. I'm not sure if it's this one or the Amstrad version. And lastly, another early Ocean game based on, well, it wasn't based, the first one was based on an arcade game, and then they just made their own sequel like they did with Target Renegade, and that is Hunchback 2, Quasimodo's Revenge. Don't think I've got this. No, I've got it on the Spectrum. I'm not sure if this got released on the Spectrum in this kind of clamshell case, because the one I've got on the Spectrum is the just a standard single cassette case. It's got the advertising their other blockbusters there: Kong, Roland's Rat Race, and Daley Thompson's Decathlon. So I've not played this yet on the Commodore 64, but you'll be looking at some footage right now of the game. So the only Amstrad game I got was a bargain. So there was no price on it. Now bearing in mind this is on the Amstrad disc, and it's 4 games in one. I've never actually heard of this compilation before. And that is Edition 1 with Double Dragon, Xenon, Silkworm and Gemini Wing. So I asked the guy how much he wanted for it, and he just went, call it a fiver. So 4 games, £1.25 each, and I tested them last night and they all work. So it comes on 3 discs, and one disc has got both Xenon and Silkworm on the same disc, and it's even got the bag and the instructions. So the only other compilation I got was for the Amiga, and this was another bargain. This was $7.99 for 4 games, but really I only bought this for one game, and that is Light Force. Well, I bought it for 2 games actually, R-Type and International Karate Plus. So I've never played the other 2 games, Voyager and what's it called? Bio Challenge. So not sure what those entail. I think Voyager is like a sort of a space strategy type game. Looks very similar to Driller and those Freescape 3D games. Not sure what Bio Challenge is. Looks like some sort of like first person shooter. So yeah, $7.99 for that. It's not too bad. Running out of room on my table. So on to the consoles. Now this next game, I don't actually own the console this is for. I mean, I could play it on my Retron 5, but I prefer to play on real hardware, and that is Space Invaders, the original Space Invaders. So I'm not sure if there's any like bells and whistles or any add-ons on this version, but it just looks like the original Space Invaders from Taito. Now there's a thing there saying 40th, as though it's some sort of 40th anniversary. This came out in '94, so it's not the 40th anniversary of Space Invaders, so I'm guessing it's the 40th anniversary of Taito. Really random, they would release a game as simple as Space Invaders on the Super Famicom. But there you go. Really nice condition as well. That set me back £18, but it was just quite unique. I've never seen that before, and I do want to pass that up. And on to the Atari games now. So this one is a bit battered, this box. And I already own the game, but I just own the loose cartridge, and this one came with the manual as well. And that is Combat. One of the earliest, if not first, games available on the Atari VCS. The next one, you probably saw me talking about this in part 1. So, I bought Asteroids, and again, I already own the cartridge for Asteroids because it came with my 2600 Junior, but I just wanted the box from the shelf, even though the spine is a bit creased. And then on the next stall, you must have seen this in part 1, I found another copy of Asteroids, 99p cheaper, and it's never been opened, so got that as well. So the next one didn't have a price on it, so I asked the guy how much it was, and he said 25, and it was a bit more than I was willing to pay, because I'm not really a fan of this game. I know people rave about this game, but I prefer the original. But he did me a deal with this and Asteroids, so I just bit the bullet and bought it, and that is Donkey Kong Jr. on the 7800. Because I don't have many games on the 7800, so it's nice just to add a few more. I'm not sure how many games were actually released on the 7800, but there were some sealed 7800 games. But yeah, this is complete with instructions. So the next one is the first NES game I've bought in years. I tend to buy unboxed NES games because they're a damn sight cheaper than the box versions. But for £8, I just thought, yeah, I'm going to get this. This is Marble Madness, and I'm sure this is better than the Spectrum version. It's even got an original, is that Woolworths? Yeah, an original Woolworths sticker on the front there. And the last one is a Master System game. Now, I did say to myself, once that shelf is full, I'm gonna leave it at that. But then in the last 2 or 3 months, I've accumulated another 15. So the good thing about the Master System is the games are quite cheap and cheerful. I mean, there's a few that are quite rare and more sought after. But for the most part, you're talking between £5 and £10. So this one is Enduro Racer. Now it's completely different to the all the other versions I've played of Enduro Racer, because this, as you can see there, is an isometric game. So I've no idea why they went down that route for that game. Again, it's complete with manual. And as always, Console Passion was there, and they had brought their tub of old gaming magazines, so I picked up 5 copies of Crash magazine, because they were £5 each or 5 for 20. I tend to get more Zap 64 magazines, because that's what I read when I was younger, but I just opted to get all Crash magazines this time. I also got these cards from Gemma, sort of like little Pokemon type game cards. I don't know. I don't do Pokemon. I think they're meant to be like top trumps. But yeah, so Gemma kindly gave me those. So that's it for this video. Now, at the beginning of the video, I did say I was looking for a Vectrex, and I might have got one earlier this week, but that's for another video, and I'll just dedicate the entire video to that. And I got an absolute bargain, let me tell you. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, bye!